Tech transfers explained. Technology transfers are a critical part of any product development journey. As products transition from drug discovery into clinical trials and then to commercialization, tech transfers may be required at each of those key stages to scale up and take the product to the next level. As a definition, technology transfer or tech transfer is the process of transferring technical information, manufacturing capabilities, and quality systems between different manufacturing facilities or organizations. A successful tech transfer enables a CRO or CDMO to fully replicate manufacturing processes and consistently produce high-quality products. There are two main types of technology transfer. It could be internal, for example, moving from one manufacturing line to another, or from a development stage to manufacturing. Or it could be external, where you're moving the entire process from one manufacturing site to another, between sites, or between companies. In order to successfully scale drug development and manufacturing, tech transfers are essential, but they're also costly, complicated, and time-consuming. The cost associated with a pharmaceutical tech transfer can be upwards of $5 million. It requires a collaboration from a team of subject matter experts, both internally and externally, and can take from 18 to 30 months. As you can see in this example timeline, put together by McKinsey & Company, there are various steps that need to take place for a tech transfer, starting from identifying products to be transferred with a detailed feasibility study and business case, developing a comprehensive plan with key milestones that involves all relevant departments, executing the tech transfer itself, including validation batches and stability studies, preparing documentation to be submitted to regulatory authorities, registration, launch preparation of the first batches at a new site, followed by project evaluation. That same McKinsey study highlights that sterile tech transfers typically take more than 18 months, and that transferring to an external party can take on average 5.8 months longer than an internal transfer. In order to successfully execute a tech transfer, there are a number of key areas to consider. Technology transfers involve diverse skills and competencies, including project management, quality assurance and control, technical capabilities, engineering, manufacturing, and validation. Establish strong project management, multidisciplinary team, led by a project manager who can effectively manage all communication and timeline between the stakeholders. Next, document everything. This documentation is called a technology transfer package. A TTP is a key document or set of documents that are the basis for a technology transfer. They're a means of communicating process information and knowledge to their recipients, i.e. the vendors that a sponsor selects to perform the work. The complexity of a TTP really depends how advanced drug development is. At the very beginning of formal development, the extent of knowledge will be fairly limited, perhaps just the drug candidate structure and rough timelines. While for later stage drug development, it should include full and detailed manufacturing process descriptions, critical safety information, critical process parameters, everything accumulated up to that point. Bernardo Estepinen explained that documenting everything is important in order to remove a project from a CMO without complications, because while contractually a CMO will need to agree to transfer any activity, they may not always make it easy. He advises making sure that process documentation is extremely robust so that anyone could take it and adapt it to a new facility without a problem. Otherwise, you'll be forced to spend time reinventing the processes again. A CMO will not want to have a technical person from another CMO in their facility, spilling their secrets. Giving the example that you don't have someone from Pepsi-Cola coming to do a transfer at Coca-Cola. All data from development must be considered as potentially relevant as key parameters for a tech transfer. As such, a full gap analysis should be completed. This should include information about the project stage, the current and required scale to meet forecast, detailed specifications, scale-up methods and procedures, critical process parameters, critical quality attributes, and information on capacity alignment. This analysis details potential risks, their potential impact, and informs the mitigation plan. Keep in mind that every method and operation, even those considered the simplest, should be analysed in detail, as even a small difference can have a big impact further down the line. Any difference in methodology, equipment performance or software represents a risk. Once the TTP is submitted, the CDMO must conduct their own assessment of the technical package, so they can fully understand the scale and any equipment differences in the planning stage. It's important to standardise wherever possible. Standardised packaging, for example, gives far more options for a choice of supplier, and a simpler drug product with minimal downstream steps is less expensive and gives you more options. Use standardised operating procedures and documents in order to increase the speed, efficiency and quality of a technical transfer. Make sure to establish rigorous quality oversight, developing a comprehensive quality agreement and oversight plan, which includes frequent in-process and release testing, audits and ongoing communication. And pull all of this together into a comprehensive project plan and timeline so that everyone involved understands what needs to happen and when. To bring this all to life, David Caron, Senior Vice President of CMC at Immunome, will now share his best practices for managing tech transfers.
Now that we have selected a CMO, let's define, plan and manage the technical transfer of our program. We definitely need to prepare the package of the knowledge we have on the program. At that stage of the program, we are the sponsor and we know the most on the product. Obviously, this will be changing over time, but that's the status at the very beginning of the process. So we need to put together all the analytical methods, the manufacturing procedures, any method validation that we have already completed, specification, and any other report that we have in hands. Second step will be to define all the planning and the programs as per the scope of work and to make sure that we are fully aligned, that we don't miss anything. Finally, we need to build a team made of the right SMEs, analytical, pharmaceutical, regulatory, QA, etc. And finally, we need to decide what are our working procedures, how many times we're going to meet every week, every 2 weeks, what kind of agenda and meetings we are expecting to receive, what kind of communication we want to build. This is essential for the program. The next step of the technical transfer is the on-site face-to-face meeting where we will have the opportunity to hand over all the knowledge we have accumulated and we can deeply discuss face-to-face with the different SMEs. The next step will be the process and analytical familiarization of the CDMOs with the methods that we have shared with him. We can prepare some experimental trials and based on the different formulation or the different batches that we will be manufacturing, we can assess whether the methods are correct or they need some improvement. The next step will be, once we are confirmed that the methods are correct, we can go and validate those methods. The recommendation will not be to co-validate the methods between the previous site and the new site, but to run a full validation of the methods that have been transferred as is, or the method that have been fully developed at the new CDMO. Once that is completed, we can engage into the manufacturing of the first GMP materials. We recommend highly that we come on site at the different stages of the transfer to the CDMO to make sure that we are fully engaged and fully participating to this process. Our technical transfer will be considered as successful once we have manufactured successfully a pilot batch, an engineering batch, a scale-out batch in compliance with the release specification. But we believe that's not enough. Assuming that we have already accumulated some previous data, especially regarding stability of the product, we consider that the technical transfer at the CDMO will be fully successful if we can compare the previous historical data with the new stability data that we can accumulate, whether it's 1 month, 2 months, or 3 months, on accelerated condition and long-term conditions. That's what we believe, and that's what we recommend. Thank you for your attention, and have a good day.